Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, Cloud Jacobs died this morning. We share his legacy in the Crossroads. And President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is set to go before the Supreme Court tomorrow.
A South Carolina judge agrees to a jury viewing the property where the double murders took place in the Alex Murdaugh trial.
As moisture moves back in the form of warm air, we're looking at some fog again. We're going to talk all about that and more.
And a story on a black-owned family ranch since the 1940s, a 25 News Now Extra as we honor Black History Month. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with us. I'm James Munoz.
And I'm Karina Garcia. Cloud Jacobs, one of the most well-known, well-respected, and well-loved people in the Crossroads, passed away this Monday morning. Jacobs, a native of Yoakum and University of Texas graduate, was an associate at Lone Stone Financial Services in Victoria. He worked in the financial services industries for over 45 years. Jacob was one of the founders of the Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch 4 miles south of Yoakum in 1972. He was the last living person from the ranch's original board of directors. The Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch has taken care of over 600 children in its 40 years plus. Shortly after UHV announced it was starting an athletics program, Cloud and Mary Virginia Jacobs started an endowment fund for the program. When Cloud passed away, the UHV Cloud Jacobs Invitational Golf Tournament was being played at the Victoria Country Club and at the club at Colony Creek, which Jacobs became part owner of in 2012. Jacobs also donated time and money to several other charitable organizations, including the Boy Scouts Troop 110 of Victoria. The death toll rising following a shipwreck in the rough seas of southern Italy. 63 migrants are confirmed dead, including 14 children, and several are missing after a wooden boat sank Monday. Migrants from Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iran were on board the vessel. Now, newspapers across the country are dropping the Dilbert comic strip after its creator, Scott Adams, went on a racist rant this weekend.
He reportedly called Black Americans a hate group and advised white people to stay away from them.
If nearly half of all blacks are not okay with white people, that's a hate group.
That was the comment that may have ended Scott Adams' newspaper career. The Dilbert creator referencing a poll from the conservative firm Rasmussen Reports that indicated 53% of black Americans agree with the statement, "It's okay to be white," leaving the other 47% to say they disagree or aren't sure. The Anti-Defamation League has noted that phrase has a long history in the white supremacist movement.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
He continued to double down throughout his show. The Washington Post, Los Angeles Times, and USA Today among the hundreds of newspapers that denounced Adams and quickly pulled Dilbert. USA Today newspaper CEO Mike Reed.
It was frankly an easy decision. We found the remarks, hateful, hurtful, and they just crossed the line.
But not everyone agrees. Twitter CEO Elon Musk coming to Adams' defense, tweeting, "The media is racist." Adams has since tweeted that he was only advising people to avoid hate and suggested that the cancellation of his cartoon signals that free speech in America is under assault.
We believe in free speech. We believe in creating a place for differing points of view, but there's a line that gets crossed where things become racism. And that's not an area we choose to traffic in or participate in.
Andrews McMeel Universal, the company which syndicates Dilbert, said today they were cutting ties with Scott Adams. The chairman and CEO and president said they won't support any commentary rooted in discrimination or hate. The Supreme Court is set to hear arguments on President Biden's student loan forgiveness program Tuesday. The plan, which cancels up to $20,000 of student debt for those who qualify, was put on hold. 6 Republican-led states say they would be harmed financially by the program. In Texas, 2 borrowers don't fully qualify for debt forgiveness. The plaintiffs argued the government doesn't have the authority, but the Biden administration argues a 2003 law gives them the power in the event of a national emergency.
Parts of North Texas saw strong winds as storms moved through the area Sunday. A thin line of storms moved eastward from the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle. Areas northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth saw strong to severe thunderstorms and damaging wind gusts. In a tweet Sunday, the DPS in Dallas said motorists should be aware of these weather conditions. The storms are expected to clear the area early this morning. The National Weather Service says the weather Monday in parts of Texas is expected to be sunny with highs around 75.
And very warm out there today, I thought.
Sweaty out there, I was.
Howie, any rain in the forecast?
Not really. Maybe a week from now. I mean, slight chances. That doesn't mean it's going to amount to much, if anything at all. Right now, yeah, you're talking 75. Well, we were warmer than that. And we're really going to stay warm through the middle to the end of the week. And then, that's right, then we are looking at a big cool down. Not going to last too long, but it's going to be a nice little shock to our system. Now, here's a look at our winds. They were kind of gusty yesterday. Yeah, winds have come down as that boundary kind of moved through, and now things have settled. But as the winds go down, the fog is returning. That's right, moving inland again. Visibility is going to get taken down to a mile or less in some spots. Could be problematic on the roadways again. This evening in the 60s, overnight dropping down to just 67. Again, we're talking about fog, and we're also going to have a cool down later in the week. We'll talk more about it coming up. Karina, James?
All right, Howie, thank you so much. Severe weather is striking the middle of the nation. As of Sunday, there were more than 115 storm reports, including 9 tornado reports. 2 of them were in Kansas. 7 tornadoes were reported in Oklahoma, at least 2 confirmed. A resident described what it was like to see those storms up close.
A lot of real strong wind. I was standing out in the garage. My wife went to the neighbors to get in a shelter. Wood and debris started flying and hitting things, so I jumped in the back seat of a car in the garage real quick, but it didn't last very long, but thank goodness everybody's okay.
Police in Norman, Oklahoma confirmed at least 12 people were hurt. No one was reported seriously hurt. The rough weather is forecast to head toward the Ohio Valley this afternoon. Among the cities to be affected, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Indianapolis.
The jury in the Alex Murdaugh trial in South Carolina will visit the property where the 2021 murders of Murdaugh's wife and son happened. The defense requested the jury visit the property. State prosecutors objected because the property has changed since the murders happened. The judge ultimately decided the court would allow a jury viewing. Alex Murdaugh pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder and 2 weapons charges in the killings of his wife and son. He separately faces 99 charges for criminal acts.
For financial crimes. Sorry,
Right.
I was running this pretty fast. All right, a task force looking into the teacher shortage in Texas is recommending lawmakers increase salaries, improve training, and commit to respecting teachers' time.
That's right. And with that, here is your viewer poll. Scan that QR code on your screen to participate. Now, the question is, what is the biggest contributor to teacher shortages? Not enough pay, not enough training, or not enough time? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. We will have an update on 25 News Now at 6.
All right, all month we've recognized Black History Month. We want to end with a 25 News Now Extra on a family with a ranch in Gonzales County. 25
News Now Sunrise anchor Karina met with the family and can tell you all about it.
The ranch has been in the family since the 1940s. That's when Mac Bonds purchased the property. Mac was born in 1890 and was a sharecropper.
I'm grateful for my grandfather for what he did. Because of him, he purchased the property way back in the 40s, and then he inherited down to my dad, and my dad gave it to us. And since we've been here, we've been able to work it and to keep it. It means a lot because I know my grandfather worked hard to get it.
His son, Freddie Mason Bond Sr., went on to become a decorated war veteran and also raised cattle and grew produce out on the family ranch. He left his part of the property to his 12 children. Tim Bonds, the youngest of 12, now manages the cattle on the family ranch.
What I say to others, if your parents or grandparents left you something, that's basically all they can do is, in a legacy, is leave you something. So if they leave you something, you know, just try to hold on to it as long as you can and continue to pass it on down to the next generation.
The ranch is split up between family heirs, some parts used for relaxation, others using the land to grow vegetation. Wanda Bond says everything they know about growing they learned from their father.
That's in our DNA. Our dad taught us when we were little how to plant and you know how to manage the soil and different things like that.
It's a tradition and education they are passing down to the next generation.
It has to exceed what we have done. Every time a generation comes, they have to exceed what the prior generation done because they have more technology, more knowledge on how things are. So I'm expecting great things from them. I want them to exceed our expectations on everything that we do out here, you know.
Something bigger than what we have now. Something bigger, maybe more cattle, more stuff dealing around ranching and stuff like that. Hard work do pay off.
While there is plenty of ranch work to be done, it's also a place of peace.
I have my own little space. I have a travel trailer where I come out of here and just relax and just enjoy nature, and it feels wonderful.
With this 25 News Now Extra, I'm Karina Astrain, KAVU TV.
Great story.
Great
Beautiful
story.
video. Yes, hard work pays off.
That's true.
Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, a Wisconsin judge allowing a homicide suspect's defense attorney to withdraw after that attorney was attacked in court.
Also ahead, the U.S. Treasury Secretary makes an unannounced trip to Kyiv.
Once upon a Bachelor Monday, everything was going well.
Being here with Zach, it's all a dream.
Until one woman cast a spell.
She helps eliminate negative people.
Oh my God.
Who will avoid a cursed hex?
Zach could be my forever person.
And who will become
I literally kissed the man before she went on her one-on-one.
the Bachelor's ex?
I was not expecting that.
This is Ford Truck Month, Texas. Time to get up and get into Ford F-150, part of F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. All amped up and ready for work or play. Plus, there's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. So get into Ford Truck Month, Texas, and see what a Built Ford tough truck can do for you. Drive Ford F-150 with 0.9% for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days, plus complimentary maintenance.
Are you ready to stop letting big business take your customers away? Phase 3 Digital is your #1 digital marketing resource to keep your customers shopping with you. With an office right here in the Crossroads and a team of support across the nation, we can help you wherever your business is in the online journey. From building a site to developing e-commerce capabilities to growing your customer base, we will drive results. It is time to take the next step in growing your business with Phase 3 Digital. Are you ready to take your customers back? Give us a call or visit us online to get started.
25-year-old Taylor Shabiznes pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect in the killing of Shad Thyrian. Last year, police found a severed head in a bucket in the basement of a house and other body parts scattered throughout. Shabiznes told investigators she and the victim were using drugs and engaging in sexual activity when he was strangled and she had sex with him. She also faces charges of mutilating a corpse and sexual assault. During a hearing when a judge ruled the trial would be delayed, she attacked her defense attorney. More than 3 years since the first COVID-19 case in Wuhan, China, and still U.S. intelligence remain divided on its origins. A new low-confidence assessment from the Department of Energy discovered the pandemic likely originated from a lab leak. In 2021, some intelligence agencies made a low-confidence assessment. The virus likely jumped from animals to humans. The uncertainty is in large part because Beijing has not cooperated with efforts to investigate the matter.
If we're going to do something to strengthen the World Health Organization, then we're going to have to push China to be more active in it and to, of course, be more honest about what happened 3 years ago in Wuhan with the origin of the COVID-19 crisis.
A low confidence assessment generally means the information obtained is not reliable enough or too fragmented to draw a robust conclusion. China's foreign ministry has said it's highly unlikely COVID-19 came from a laboratory leak. Now, if you have a fever and a cough, you may not have to see a healthcare provider to find out if it's the flu or COVID-19.
The FDA has authorized a new at-home test to identify if you're suffering from either illness.
For what the FDA says is the first time ever, the green light was given to an at-home self-collected nasal swab test that can determine if you're suffering from COVID-19 or the flu in about half an hour.
You can purchase this test over the counter, where during the flu season, you have these upper respiratory systems. You don't know if it's COVID, if you don't know it's the flu. This is a great way for a person to be able to tell.
The test is able to identify a negative result for influenza A with more than 99% accuracy and a positive result with more than 90% accuracy. It's 100% accurate for negative COVID-19 samples and more than 88% accurate for positive results. There weren't enough influenza B cases for the company to do real-world testing for that strain, but in lab studies, it caught nearly 100% of negative cases.
If you have this test and you're able to say, okay, this is flu, then you can get appropriate treatment for flu, or you can help to prevent the spread of flu. As opposed to if it is COVID, you can get appropriate treatment for COVID and go into quarantine or isolation.
The company's CEO told USA Today that a U.S. price tag and release date will be announced at a later date. People who have flu or COVID-like symptoms but test negative may have a different respiratory infection and should get follow-up care. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A Romanian court has upheld a third 30-day detention for the divisive influencer and former professional kickboxer Andrew Tate. He's held on suspicion of organized crime and human trafficking. A spokesperson for Romania's anti-organized crime agency said Tate lost his appeal against the judge's February 21st decision to extend his arrest a third time for 30 days. 36-year-old Tate, known for his hate against women, arrived handcuffed to his brother Tristan, who is also held in the same case.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen made an unannounced trip to Kyiv. It comes on the heels of President Biden's trip there last week to mark the one-year anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. A Treasury Department member says she met with President Zelensky to talk about ongoing U.S. economic support. She will also meet with the Ukrainian Prime Minister. Janet wrote in an opinion piece in the New York Times saying the goal of her trip is to reaffirm unwavering support to the Ukrainian people.
We're staying warm, but we're going to be foggy as well. We'll talk about it in just a bit.
It would appear that the butler did it. But this isn't a whodunit film. It's a Nissan sales event. Now that's a killer deal. Good thing this Rogue has a VC turbo engine, unlike RAV4.
Get 0% financing for 36 months on select models.
Catch these offers while you can.
Go faster on Optimum Internet with 99.9% reliability. Get 300 meg internet for as low as $30 a month with no annual contract. And equipment is included for whole home Wi-Fi coverage. Plus, Optimum has faster download speeds than AT&T nationwide. Get award-winning 300 meg internet for $30 a month with Optimum Mobile for as low as $15 a month. Call 8669-OPTIMUM. Go to Optimum.com or visit your local store today. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
All right, we'll start off in Cuero. Look at all that sunshine. So early clouds, that boundary pushed through, and then we started to see a clearing, and again, lots of nice sunshine. Here's where we were today. Look at the 84 degrees here we are still in February. We could be as warm as 91. That's what we get back in 1964. But today, again, more than 10 degrees above average. Now, as our winds are dying down, that boundary pushed through, started to calm and settle things. But now, the fog going to take advantage of those weaker winds. We're seeing that warm air over the cooler ocean waters, that sea fog, that advection fog moving from the sea and inland. And here we go. Look at these visibilities getting taken down to a mile or less, or even a quarter of a mile or less in some spots. So it could be very tricky overnight tonight. And then look, it likes to hang around a little bit still. At 8, 9, 10 in the morning, we're seeing a good thickness of fog in most of the viewing areas. So yes, please slow it down and be safe. All right, here's our temperatures, our future temperatures. That is, we're staying warm right through Thursday. And I say that because, there are boundaries going to head our way. That is going to pull the rug from underneath our feet because we're going to go from the mid-80s on Thursday to the mid-60s for highs on Friday. So it could be a little bit of a shock to the system. We're not going to be cold for very long, though. We'll get into that in a second. Okay, here's a look at our temperatures now. Here's our dew points. You saw the boundary knocking these down, but what's going to happen really quickly, that cold front is going to move through and then really change its characteristics and properties and become a warm front, start moving right back up, going to rise or allow these dew point temperatures numbers and moisture levels to start to go up. Because look at that, ooh, very dry up there, but still on the coast. We're looking at that sultry, warmer, humid weather. All right, here's our winds. I talked about it. That boundary came through and kind of relaxed and settled things. Now winds 5, 10 miles per hour. We were seeing 25, 35 mile per hour gusts just yesterday. Okay, the boundary still pushing through. What I talked about, it's going to change its properties. It's going to start becoming a warm front, moving back up. Now, that's going to move moisture into the area. We could see some showers, but for the most part, we're seeing weather dynamics that are opposed to lift, going to start acting on this. We could have a storm cap, a lid, so it's going to be very tough for the showers. Could stay really, again, to the northeast of the area. But we're also tracking another boundary. That boundary is going to start moving our way. And that boundary, that's right, with cooler air behind it, this one is going to drop our temperatures down Thursday and into Friday. I talked about it. Temperatures from the mid-80s to the mid-60s the next day. Here's our future tracker. Okay, that warm front moves in. Yeah, we could see a few showers. Again, not lasting very long. We have opposing forces kind of stifling what the rain is wanting to do. And then, again, we'll dry off before our next boundary comes into the area. Here's our marine forecast. Okay, yeah, on the smooth side, seas just 2 to 3 feet. Overnight, 67. As winds die down, that fog moves back into the area. Then tomorrow, another day in the 80s. We'll see partly sunny skies. Then looking ahead to Cuero, warm, warm, warm. Hey, that front's not too bad, knocking us down to 72 with lots of sunshine in Cuero. Then in Port Lavaca, again, look at that, 74 and sunny on Friday. Then back here in Victoria, yeah, 80s, 80s, 80s. And then here we go for Friday, 64 degrees after being in the mid-80s. Later on in the week, we do start to warm up with a nice mix of clouds and some sun. For more weather news and sports, you can go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com. That is free with any Android and iPhone. James, Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Howie. Up next, we'll take a look at Wall Street. Plus, Meta is backing a tool aimed at keeping sexually explicit images of teens off its platforms.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
No one wants to think about emergency care until they need it. But when that time comes, Victoria ER is here for you and your family. Our board-certified physicians are available 24/7, so there's never a wait. Whether you need a CAT scan, X-ray, lab work, or even pediatric care, we've got you covered with all the modern medical technology you would expect from a hospital ER. We're committed to personalizing your experience and getting you on your way as quickly and efficiently as possible at Victoria ER.
When our law firm takes your case, it becomes part of our world. Everyone at the firm works together as a team to get the job done.
We work with each other. We go to trial together.
We're the ones that wake up in the middle of the night thinking about what to do next on a case. That's our job. That's what we're here for.
We help each other on cases, and that's why we get the results that we do.
We are members of this community,
And when a member of this community trusts us with their case, we take that trust very seriously.
I remember the first time I wore a shower cap.
To protect your highlights.
Next live, Marlon Wayans and Wendy McClendon-Covey from the Goldbergs.
I put this little beauty on.
He's making cheese in Puglia.
Plus, the countdown has begun. Live returns to the Oscar stage for Live's After Oscars show.
Tonight, once upon The Bachelor, everything was going well until one woman cast a spell.
She literally kissed the man before she went on her one-on-one.
I was not expecting that.
Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow gaining 73 points, the S&P up 12 points, and the Nasdaq gained 72 points. Oil down 64 cents, closing at $75.68 a barrel. Meta is backing a tool aimed at reducing revenge porn for teens on its platform called Take It Down. Users have to download special software which can anonymously add a digital fingerprint to photos. Meta then maintains a database of those digital fingerprints. If a photo with the same fingerprint is posted to Facebook or Instagram, the company is alerted and can review the photo. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says it received more than 250,000 reports of online enticement since 2016.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg wants major railroads to join a voluntary hazard reporting system. He sent letters directly to 7 CEOs, including Norfolk Southern's. He wants them to join the confidential close call reporting system, which allows workers to report safety hazards. Some of those hazards include conditions which could lead to derailments. Buttigieg is giving the CEOs until the end of the week to reply. The only penalty they face is that Buttigieg plans to notify the public about which companies did not join.
Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a brave and honest toddler helps locate a fugitive in Kentucky.
Stay up to date with what's happening in the Crossroads by downloading the Crossroads Today mobile app. You'll get instant alerts to your phone or tablet the minute breaking news or weather happens. Only the free Crossroads Today mobile app features weather updates for local sports. The Crossroads Today app gives you the ability to stream our daily newscasts when you're on the go and share pictures or tips straight to our newsroom and so much more. Brought to you locally by Prosperity Bank with 12 locations serving the Crossroads area.
Tonight, once upon The Bachelor, everything was going well until one woman cast a spell.
She literally kissed the man before she went on her one-on-one.
I was not expecting that.
So I'm back home from college, hanging out with some friends, we're drinking. So we started driving and the road's kind of windy. Next thing I know, I lost control of the car and I crashed into a house. And then from there, you've got the backlash because it was on the news. And before I could even get back home, my phone was blowing up for people's parents, other people like, how could you? So irresponsible. And you go from thinking that I'm this good guy and everything's working out for me to all of a sudden like, I'm a felon. It's a $30,000 mistake for me and something I still think about and have to deal with every day.
Escape to a world of wonder as choreographer Brenda Talley takes you through the madcapped world of Lewis Carroll in Victoria Ballet Theater's production of Alice in Wonderland, March 4th and 5th. Tickets are now available at victoriaballet.org and at the Leo J. Welder box office.
Movies are dreams that you'll never forget.
This is larger than any of us.
In the tradition of Monk and Columbo, meet Will Trent.
Seemed like a great guy to me.
The investigation is on.
We are solving this thing. Always.
New Will Trent, Tuesday on ABC.
Tuesday, Garcelle Bouvet. That's my girl. Garcelle once double booked a date while seeing Eddie Murphy. They both showed up at her house. See, that's why you're not supposed to tell men where you live.
Authorities in Kentucky say a brave and honest child helped them find this wanted fugitive. Authorities were serving a warrant at a residence for this fugitive named Tina Hicks. None of the adults in the house would say if Hicks was there. Deputies say a toddler stood up and outed the woman. The child told them, "It's good to be honest. We shouldn't lie. She's inside the room next to the bathroom." Deputies took this woman into custody and served her with multiple warrants, including charges of meth and drug paraphernalia possession.
That is a brave little girl.
Brave, yeah. Maybe she got a reward.
That Crime
Hopefully.
Stoppers reward, yeah. Howie, how's the weather looking?
Well, we're going to deal with some fog again. Unfortunately, it makes it very tough on the roads, especially you want to not put the brights on. It gets reflected back to you. So, yes, you want to take it on the slower side. So 67 overnight, mostly cloudy. Looking at that fog looks to hang on to about 8, 9, 10, 10:30 in the morning. But then we'll be partly sunny. Temperatures warming up to 81 degrees. Looking ahead to the rest of the week, here's what we got. Tuesday, 81. Wednesday, 81. All right, as that boundary comes in, we had a 30% chance that we can see some showers. Well, look what happens. It really drops us down. Look at Friday, only a high of 64, but we do warm up very nicely the rest of the week with a nice mix of clouds and some sun. James, Karina.
Howie, thanks. Thank you for being with us. Remember, we're always on at Crossroads Today Plus.
And we hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6.